everybody to the 1111 Spiritual Transit Podcast with Jay and Jackie. I am Jackie. I'm an energy healer specializing in harnessing the power of the Akashic Records. And the man himself, the Master of Shadows, Jay, all the way from Australia. Holistic energy healer, author, mentor. How's it going, Jay?
Mate, I tell you, what a great morning it has been to say that. The Master, thank you so much.
I like it. It came to me. Master of Shadows. That's what
Master
you do.
of Shadows, I love it. That's fantastic.
It was this inspiration right before we decided to go live. So thank you for letting me take the introduction this time.
Mate, you look looking amazing. You got that nice big great positive vibration there.
I'm feeling good. So yes, thank you.
You're looking amazing. Yeah, we've had a bit of internet issues this morning, so yeah, I'm on the treadmill, as you can see, guys. So it's always good to be active. You know, I can't sit still. But we had a bit of an issue with the internet this morning. I was on Live Theory. So big shout out to Diana Solomon and Sarah for putting up with that today. So, how have you been, and what's the movements for today? What are we looking at today with these shifts that have been happening? Portals been happening. You know, I think a lot of revelations have been coming. I've been getting a lot of Fire Phoenix signs, which has come through.
Okay, yeah. You know, that's funny you said that. My first tattoo was a phoenix.
And what do you see as a phoenix? So tell us what's your I guess your meaning of the phoenix? What do you think?
I think rebirth, transformation. You know, rising from the ashes of the storm. Yeah, that's kind of where I would leave the symbolization for that.
Absolutely. See, I believe I was obviously being a retro cartoon freak. If you remember Battle of the Planets over in the 80s with those five guys, what they did is they used to transform their jet. They used to go into they used to transform it into a Fire Phoenix, which basically go into a symbolism of power that they could go and move through time, and it gave them more power. I guess it gave them more power to transform into what they were supposed to be. So it's really weird that the symbolism there is what you're doing, the rising of the Phoenix.
That was when I was 16, like even before I had this spiritual awakening, I'd say, but I still had that, inner knowing, I guess we'll call it.
Absolutely.
It meant something to me back then. It wasn't the best looking tattoo in the end, but it had to be covered up. But the symbolization was what drew me to that imagery.
Oh, fantastic. So what we're going to do today, guys, is it's coming to the end of the year. And look, I mean, this is our 25th episode. We're on SoundCloud now. I mean, 25 episodes, Jack. It's amazing. But we're on SoundCloud now, and we're expanding onto Apple Music and all that. You always reflect at this time of the end of the year, and there's a lot of stuff coming in the future. So, but I think what I've come with today is basically looking at really working within the present and what's happening right at this time. We always say that, but there's so much happening now within the world, and we've met so many great people. Where are you actually at? What are you doing? Like at the moment, for me, I'm just putting through my shadow course that I've been doing. I did a little bit yesterday. Had a great time at my home. We had a big party the other week, rock and roll stars we are, wish. But there's a lot of opportunities if you actually analyse what's happening and the way you are as a person. And I think looking at your frequency, looking at your vibration. I mean, I was going to say, Jack, that's probably your vibration is at one of the highest I've seen. Just the way you.
I am honestly feel it. I'm like shaking sometimes because the energy is so strong, and I feel amazing. I have been for a while, and it keeps getting better. I'm so happy. I can't imagine how happy I'm gonna how could you be happier? But then I get happier.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, behind you had that. I haven't seen that purple. I'm just looking at colours, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bit of purple behind it. I mean,
that's my lights.
Just the symbolism of what's happening. I think we have to look at what's happening in the world. Everything's, we all go a little bit more controversial next year. There's a few things that's been happening that we want to talk about. We've talked about off stage, but it's more about looking at the consciousness of yourself. So, Jack, do you want to tell us a little bit about your course? What about your course? Let's get this. We're both doing courses in what we master. Tell us a little bit about Hey,
I
the
will
mark.
tell you
Hey,
something about the course.
she's the keeper of the Akashic records. I tell you.
It's so funny. So my course that I had created, the 21-day course to revamp yourself, was kind of this thing that I had been working on for a year. And it was really an implementation of all of the different techniques and modalities and thought processes I used to gain this new awakened awareness. And I had to get it out of my head, and I launched it. It cost a lot of money to host it on a platform. It didn't do good. So I don't have it hosted right now. The information's there. It'll be revamped and used in another way. But the significance for me was completing something that I was procrastinating on and getting out that energy and then moving into a new state of flow. And allowing myself to do that gave me a really clear perspective on what I want to do in the future. And it isn't these smaller courses. It is really using my voice in a larger way, on a bigger scale, with these lives and a new podcast that I'm coming out with as well. And that's the
Tell us about that.
2024. So
Tell us about
it was an ending. It was something that had to be done, and it got completed. And that was a cycle for me, because I tend to start a lot of things and then not complete it. So
we are so similar. You got no idea. This is why we're best friends. I tell you.
I know. I tried it, and I put a lot of money into it to see what would happen, if anything would happen, and it wasn't really the right way to market it. My perspective on when I started it and when I ended it were two very different places, so it's a little misflowy. You know, it wasn't my best work, but the energy of the completion was what I gained, because my awareness just jumped after integrating all of the research I had to do to create it.
What about the situation of I have believed that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also doing a shadow course, and we'll be Jackie and I will be talking about our courses. We want to get people onto looking at what we're doing with regards to people's awareness in what we're in where they're at with regards to life. Like with regards to the shadow work, we sort of work in tandem in a lot of ways. We've got our own mastery, what we do, but as a tag team, we go, right, you take that, I take that, then we come with a finished product, I guess, in some ways, if you get where I'm going, so that people can actually have a choice of what they're doing. But with regards to the shadow, it's a big thing. I've started to write out doing one-on-one courses. I've done a lot of that stuff now. It's starting to move into that now, especially the consciousness going through the world at the moment, which is, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, you know?
Exactly. I just think that everything that I was doing, and I had to do a lot of things, because in my mind, I felt like I had a lot of different paths, and I had to do it and experience it to know it wasn't for me, and then move forward to where I am meant to be. So I look at it as a very positive, and the information is still there to be utilized in many different avenues for my future. So there is no loss. It's all knowledge gained, and it's a really strong perspective and place for me to be in when it comes to that.
Absolutely, yeah. It goes like that with regards to what's happening within the world today. I mean, look, we can talk about what happened with Kiss yesterday. I watched the Kiss paper.
What happened with Kiss?
What happened? Well, they're going AI. They're doing an ABBA.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. So what happened was it last year they started? ABBA decided, because ABBA hasn't played for what, 30, 40 years, yeah, whatever it may be, right? So they decided to do holograms of themselves. Okay, so what they did is they basically, you go to watch the concert, but they're holograms. It's like what?
Okay, I've seen a show like that, the Michael Jackson one in Vegas.
Yeah, so they've got that. Now, Kiss have done the same thing. Now, the problem what I have is, number one, they didn't play it. They just played. I watched the thing and I watched the pay-per-view and I've already seen this show because I went and watched it in Sydney. But the thing was, they want to continue the new era to live forever. That's fine. Through AI. Now, for me, it just doesn't sit well. You might as well do a cartoon.
Well, and I heard that some celebrities are pretty upset because they released an Axl Rose a song where they used AI to create him singing a different song or something, and it didn't go over very well. Now I guess you can use these people's voices to create your own music because you have the rights to this old songs, right? Is that the problem?
The thing is, that's number one, and also going from the live experience with the people on the stage to this computer generated experience. Now,
Okay.
ABBA is a different story. ABBA hasn't played for so long. Okay.
Well, and I guess like the Michael Jackson thing too, right? It's a nostalgic
Michael
thing
Jackson's
for
another
certain
one.
things.
You're not
I
going to
see what you're saying, but if these people are alive and actually still doing concerts, right? Because there was one in my city not that long ago.
Well, there's one that you can work around, but yeah, it's very, for me, I'm looking and going, nah, someone's not sitting well here. I think it's the way the world's going. We can talk about that later in thing where people are actually, going towards computer generated stuff and instead of using real people. And it's sort of like it's a bit disturbing in some ways, without going too much into it and just not analysing it. But looking at the flip side, understanding the awareness and having to talk about it, saying, look at where we are as people and being aware of what's happening around the world. You know what I mean? So that's a very interesting point.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think that's exciting. I mean, to kind of break that down, there's so many. I mean, we could go down the real rabbit hole with that one, but even just jobs in general that are no. I think there's an Amazon factory here. There's no reception, right? There's just like this AI situation. I've never been there, but I mean, how many jobs are being lost? And that's what I wondered at McDonald's or at Walmart, because they have all those self checkouts, and I'm like, they're like, oh, it saves us money, and then I'm like, okay, well, why is my groceries going up? And you saved all this money in labor.
Well, we can go there. We just talked about the price gouging happening. Coles and Woolies, you can go and get stuffed. That's our two major duopoly here. They're basically overcharging. They've been price gouging for a couple of years. The farmers are getting nothing. We're getting nothing. They're making billions of dollars of profit, and that's the way it is. And just to give you a bit of if everyone is watching, there is going to be a ban. They're pushing to try and not ban, but make a conscious choice. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Conscious choice not to go and shop there on the 23rd and 24th. So people are starting to get their people power and wake up. They can't hold, the corporates and all these elites and all these, I wouldn't call them elites, but these people are trying to hold us down and the voices are starting to come up. Like we're freedom fighters, both of us, in a lot of ways. White lighters, freedom fighters.
We can't be controlled.
We can't be controlled. Yep, you can try and do what you want, but it's not the case of doing that. It's not going to happen. The one thing I wanted to say though, with the awareness that come through, Jack, have you got more of an understanding of the journey that you're on, and everything that happens to you is supposed to happen for a lesson? You look really deep into your soul, into your subconscious, and understand that there's a lesson in everything. So, and
every
there's also
single thing makes sense to me now. Everything. It's like within the last 2 months, everything has been unveiled. It is crazy, the awareness that has spunk up. Maybe it was that 11/11 portal. Remember we did our special episode that day? Yep. And it really, since that moment, it was like I was in hermit mode too, and now it's like there's not one part of my life journey that doesn't make sense as to why I have the reactions I did, the fear, the self-worth issues. Everything now makes sense. And I actually now appreciate the fact that everything happened, because it gave me this happiness, and I can't even begin to show the amount of appreciation I have for the new awareness that has come through.
Do you think that I know myself, everything that happens, I stand back and I look at it and I go, okay, if you have a conscious thought of saying everything happens for a reason, all right, and you've got, there's either a lesson or something that things happen for a reason because they're trying to teach you something, or it's part of your journey that you've got to go through. If you accept that, things will move on. And the other thing I wanted to quickly say too was some of the universal laws that come on top of that. The universal law of non-interference, acceptance, and the other one that I learned from Aaron Doherty the other day was importance. What he means by importance is putting too much energy into something, letting things happen. Don't get too excited about it. It's a far balance of putting too much energy into it to stop it from happening if you get where I'm going. Just let the constant flow do it. Do what you need to do. Be
Yeah.
happy about it, but
Trying to create the outcome instead of just enjoying
that's exactly right.
the journey.
Or you put importance on something. Oh my God, I have to do this because I have to do this YouTube channel. I have to get 500. No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself and make yourself a foundation in this world, which is fine. And then you do it because you want to do it. It comes from the heart, and that will bring the flow that we're in. You basically resonate your love for what you're doing and put it out in your content, and that's what will attract the people. If you need, and whoever needs to happen will come to you. Well, whoever needs to see it will come to you. A very close friend of mine who plays in the rock scene, he's a business consultant, consultant. He talks about a lot of things with how to restructure business. And I think the one thing that we've got that he said, he goes, it's not what you teach them, it's how you make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that and I've gone, that is, and the people that we're developing, well, whether we're developing characters where we say the master of the queen of the Akashic records or the master of the shadow, however you want to put it. Here we go. We're getting like that now. We love our characters, but we're putting a name upon ourselves, but we're actually developing ourselves for who we are, not putting costumes on, not putting any costumes on. Like I know myself, I was comfortable. I say I'm an introvert. Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can be because I don't want anyone to know. I only know I've got a small circle of friends. The lovely lady to my left, if it's on the left or right, whatever. But
depends which city you're watching, everyone.
Whatever way you're watching, they know everything. But I don't want my life spread around. But if I put a costume on and I embrace that character, that's a different story. It's not actually me. So I actually learned that about myself, So we go from there.
Yeah, interesting concept. I like that.
What do you think? How do you find that, Jack, these days? Because especially coming into the awareness, do you walk the journey? And as I said, you're looking really happy and vibrational today. Your vibration is so far up. I mean, you look really.
It really is, and it's I wore a lot of masks in my life and portrayed a lot of different versions of who I am based on the people I was around. I really am a mirror back to people as to the energy that they provide me.
Yes.
Now is really about, once I figured out who I was, there was no more masks. It's like a take it or leave it mentality. And some people love me and some people don't. And
how can you not love you?
I don't care. I don't care anymore. I know who my friends are. I know who my peeps are. And that's okay. You don't have to like me. You don't have to resonate to what I said. People who are drawn to work with me will come to me because of shared interests, shared stories, shared mindset. And that's all that matters. I can't deal with the haters. There's too many haters out there.
No. People will come to you, and once we come into our consciousness, and you can see the vibration. And the other thing is, I don't know about you, but I can't really handle people who have that negative vibration anymore, whether it's friends or whatever. I just can't. And I don't wish anything bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like that. I don't wish anything bad on people. All right. But then on the other hand, why should I have to put up with that negativity?
It's not. I avoid situations where I know that could happen. So I'll tell you, for instance, we always have this problem with the Christmas tree. Every year, the gosh darn Christmas tree will not stay in the stand. It ends up following out. So I told my son's father, I'm like, well, you go get the Christmas tree this year. We always had trouble even tying it onto the car. I'm like, you do all that and I'll help you decorate the house. Because I was trying to avoid this stressful Christmas tree situation. And once again, the tree's all up, I'm putting the lights on it, it starts to fall over. So even trying to mitigate it. So I realize it's going to keep putting me in those situations. We have to now be in that stressful moment and choose to create a new behavior. So we're not screaming at each other over the Christmas tree. That didn't happen this year. We still screamed at each other over the Christmas tree, but maybe next year we'll get it right.
The key word is we've got choice, we've got acceptance, non-interference. All those ones that Wayne Dyer were in the movie The Shift that I saw, that all comes forth. But the other thing is, as I said, flow and acceptance of where we are, what we're doing. And just quickly, shout out all the likes, whoever's pushing the likes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We love what we do here, and we really love what we do here, and I'm very blessed to have this lady in my life to do this, what we're doing. Look, the idea is to get out and talk. We talk underwater, both of us. We can't help ourselves. It'd be very funny if we actually get on a stage together. It'd be absolutely hilarious. Go, right, your turn, my turn.
I know. They'd like have to force us off.
Oh, that's exactly right. We'll be stopping. But hopefully, that's our goal, to get on and talk about what we've been learning, what we're doing, our spiritual journeys, really, about what we're doing. But the main thing that we want to get to you, I mean, regardless of where you are, I mean, we could say this now where we're at, because we have been through the forest of fear, if you want to put it that way, and through so many traumatic experiences, if you want to put it that way. I think trauma is a catchword in some ways, but we are where we are because it's opened our minds to this, I guess not new world, but this awakening process, and understanding, understanding samadhi, understanding kundalini, the kundalini effect, understanding universal powers, Akashic records, all those kind of things that we've opened up to. And you don't have to be an expert in every one of them. You draw to yourself to where you're going to be and understand what's going to make you better. Myself was the shadow work. I understand the subconscious, but I've also got Wonder Woman over here. If I need to have a talk about the Akashic record, I said, listen, this is where we're at. I've got a great astrologer who's in Michigan. I can talk to her about astrology. It's about having the experts and the great friends in the Hall of Justice to, that concept of the Hall of Justice with all the super friends is not a silly concept when we look at it, where everyone's got their own special powers, and then you got your leaders, and you
come together and use the skills you have to create this community that supports and loves each other, and I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So we know exactly where we're at, and it's a wonderful thing. And look, you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. And that's the most important thing you got to do. You got to think, right, what's best for you at the time. And I think the hardest thing I've learned in my life is being a leader and making decisions, because you're the one who's walking the walk and stepping up. And you get into a case of people who will, oh, why'd you do that for? But you're the one who made the decision. And I've struggled with that for years. Mm-hmm. But now I just say, right, if you don't want to be on the train, mate, next station is there. See you later. Bye. This is the way it is.
Yeah, I'm very clear on what I want and the direction of my life and the people that I allow into my circle. And for me and for people who are, in my life, I don't judge their behavior when they're in the best of times. I judge their behavior when they're in the worst of times, because that's going to show me their true character, and that's going to show real change, is when you're in those worst of situations and you still hold yourself accountable above. And that shows true growth, and that shows true change. And it doesn't come right away, but continual work and continual choices and shaping new karma, it happens. And that's how I judge the people of my life. So there's no false masks. I see right through them.
Oh, it's one big shout out to the Eco Warrior out there, man. I know you're a massive supporter of both of us.
Thank you.
I know you're always saying what a great team we are, but mate, we're just grateful for this platform, so we could be together as a team and giving out the information that we've been through in our journey, so we can help people and meet great people like yourself. So I know myself personally, doing what I do now, especially with my partner here, that we're giving each other the confidence to be better people. And you can see the changes of where you are. And I think another thing is, guys, my brain processes things quicker than I can get it out. And I think, Jackie, you said the same thing. So many different things. It's just a case of, be yourself and be what you need to be, all those little concepts that they've been doing for so many years. But understand that there's always working within yourself, and you've got to trust in what's going on, trust in all the situations, good and bad, that you've gone through. And look, at the other end is a wonderful thing. And the other thing is, which is basically, I wanted to say, is whatever happens in your life, as I said, let it all happen. Just trust in what's happening. I know it's hard in some ways. I mean, I've been through it, Jackie's been through it, but once it's through the other end, it does make it a bit easier. And you can actually have a rational thought within yourself, within your mind and within your heart, about the decision that you're making.
It's true. I don't know who wouldn't want to be as happy as I feel right now, but
Well, I
it
know. I
was
was going
all
to say,
worth
happy
it. I'm
pills.
telling you, it was all worth it. And not everybody has to go through the worst of it. There are skilled practitioners out there that can help you bring awareness to some of these things and integrate these lessons in a softer way than maybe me and Jay had to go through it. And that's why we speak out, because
This is why we're here.
we don't want it to have to be that difficult for you if it doesn't have to be. Some of us do have to learn the hard way. So, I mean, if you're one of those people, then get grinding.
Well, the thing is too, Jack, if you're looking at our platform for me is my platform is TikTok, and I see a lot of people liking my videos and getting involved with our podcast edits and wanting to know a little bit more about it and saying thank you for speaking up. We're just being honest, guys. With us, we're just here to give our best, to be our best selves. Look, and people go about, I get a lot about the money side of things. I go, look, people can focus in on that. That's fine, okay. But if you're there and you know, it's a give and receive universal law, and that won't come into that later. But what you do is you give what you have to give, and and people will come to you and do that. There's a basis of that, and this is where the non-importance video came up. I think I sent it to you, Jack. I think I sent it to you last week. Mm-hmm. The art of understanding importance and putting importance on things, and you know, breaking the flow and putting stress upon it. Oh, I've got to make it succeed, or it's got to do this. But having the love and the balance to do it is more important.
Agreed. I like that.
So it's been fantastic today. So what's the rest of the day for you, Jack? You got that vibration?
That is it for me. I've worked all the weekend, so I'm going to relax until I actually start work again tomorrow.
So I was going to say to you, we talk a lot about other stuff. When we tell the fans, here we go, rock star, wrestler.
Fans. I get a lot of messages, so we got fans.
We get a lot of messages. We do have our fans in that way. What's your outlook for 224? Obviously, we'll be side by side, of course, but what's your personal outlook about where you're going in 2024? It's very important to look at that. It's nothing wrong with dreaming, guys. You can dream. We should be like children. We should dream, because when we get older, our dreams are pushed down because of, you know, social crap that says you shouldn't, and we should dream. Where do you see yourself next year?
2024 is where I really get focused on getting everything that I want. I mean, there's so many I don't want to say, but it really is stepping into the fullest extension of who I am, what I want to do, which is host my own show and talk about trauma and talk about healing and talk about my business. And I'm just going to continue to do that in a major way. 2023, I did a lot of different things. There was tarot and oracle and this and that. There was 1,000 things, guys. And it really was about trying all the things that weren't for me to get really focused on what it was that I want to do. And this has always been it since I held a brush in front of the mirror pretending to be a talk show host when I was 5. The dream has always been the same, and that's the focus this year.
Well, we've joined to each other. There's going to be definitely some type of thing, you know, like I love interviewing. I mean, we're going to do some more interviews together. I'm really excited about getting you involved with our with the chat with Jay. It's actually going to be a chat with Jay and Jackie. I'd love to get you in. Well, we are going to get involved in next. We are doing that next year. So if you do want to be interviewed, get on our 11 Spiritual Transit interview series. I love doing the interviews. I think I've just found myself going for what I feel for what I love at the moment. The bands and stuff that I'm doing is great. What we're doing, I love what we're doing. I really, you know, when we talk, you know, 2 or 3, 4 times a week, it's amazing when you have these people. I really feel like it's not this family stuff. It's just having that closeness with people. I guess just moving into trusting myself and my journey, really, where I'm going to be. Everything that I've done, and it's really important, guys. That I just had a revelation about how much money and how much time I put into myself especially since I'll call it the pokeroo. Good on you, Cortez. I love you, mate. Since that time I had that spiritual breakdown and the pokeroo happened, the amount of investment in myself has been amazing. I just sit back and gone, wow. I mean, taking bass lessons, doing life coaching courses, doing spiritual courses and stuff, looking at the Shadow Warrior, the course that I did there, investing myself in time on YouTube videos, meeting this lovely lady over here. I'm very grateful for that we're doing interviews, meeting Cortez when I spoke to him. Everything just changed. It's amazing. And just a big shout out, what's going to happen next year too, Jackie and I will be live. We'll be live on UK radio. That's going to be huge.
We're going, that's the trifecta now, right? Australia,
absolutely.
Canada, UK.
So Canada, Australia, the 1111 Spiritual Transit podcast will be live on UK radio with Cortez Medford, the Seaman.
We're going international, baby.
That's it. So he's given us the platform. I will be on there live on the 24th of December talking about the semen retention that Cortez and I have been going through, and talking about the life force within males with regards to it's basically semen retention, which is what you're retaining your seed and being respectful to yourself. There's a lot more to it, but we'll be talking about the changes that have happened spiritually and physically when we do that. And then Jackie and I will be going on live. Very, very probably we're looking at January, maybe January, February. We'll be going on as the tag team, the 1111 Spiritual Transit podcast, and talking about our goals in life and what we're looking to bring the world. Going to be fantastic. So we are going international. Amazing. We're going to be on UK radio.
2024 is our year. It's going to be a really great year. I just know it. There's some things you just know, and that's one of them. So
that's exactly right.
I can't wait to celebrate New Year's this year and put 2023 to rest and step into the fullest extension of ourselves and the expression of this show as it progresses through the next year.
It's been really hard in a lot of ways. We went through, our background when Jackie and I got together, just quickly, if you're tuning in for the first time, is we met each other. I got an Akashic record reading offer, which was basically changed. One of the things that really changed and opened my eyes to where I am. So it's been an amazing experience. But then when we got together and talked about the twin flame journey, and then it's progressed into more this talk show that both of us have really wanted, because we love doing what we do. We love doing the talk show side of things. And this is what we're doing on our lives now, but it's actually going to work into a proper talk show. And my thing would be, I'd love nothing more than to get us both in a studio and just doing a weekly show.
Oh, I know.
That would be the ultimate, say, welcome. And it'd be great to have us both. Both of us have always said we'd love to be in the same, getting us both in the same room, the energy would change so much. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, well, I'm excited, and lots to look forward to in 2024. So we'll see what comes down the tubes for us. We'll have a few more recordings probably before we end off the year.
Absolutely.
But, I think at this point we can wrap it up for today. And
absolutely. Do you want to do? Would you like me to finish?
I'll let you do. You go.
You want me to finish off? Well, yeah. Thank you so much. And look, I want to give a big shout out to the Eco Warrior. I know you're a massive supporter of both of us. Thank you so much for your support, and everyone who comes on the show, likes our videos on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you so much for all your support. We love what we do, and of course we finish up with our hero Brett the Hitman Hart, who's coming to Australia. Jack,
in April
he's coming to Australia. So I am going to say, listen, this is what we do. I'm actually going to tell him. I'm going to show a photo of you and me. We do this. We're doing we're doing this podcast talking about personal growth, spiritual way. I'm going to tell him straight up again. And you inspired us, because this is why. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him. You never know. He might do something for us. You never know. This is the vibration you have.
Publicity is good publicity, right?
Absolutely. But for Brett the Hitman Hart, that we love so much, WWF champion, thank you for this quote. When you get up in the morning, always be the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Have the vibration like my partner over here. Be the best person that you can. We'll talk to you next week. We'll see you later. Take care from the 1111 Spiritual Transit Podcast. Jay, Jackie, Catch ya. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.